So here's the realization. You cannot want your current life and still not want to do what it requires to get your new life. And I think a lot of women, or many women, are in this space right now, in this in between space. I'm just feeling a shift. And it might just because of the conversations that I have and the type of work that I do, but I'm feeling a shift in women and how we want to live and work. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video because I've just been having a lot of observations. Like my dad would say, I'm very observant. I've just been having a lot of observations, and those are some of the things that I want to talk about today because I feel like you or women like you who are driven, ambitious, used to getting things done, responsible, capable. You're in a season where, excuse me, something might be off. And that's the word that I use because that's how I was feeling back in my corporate leadership days when I didn't have like the language for it. I was just like, something is off here, something is off. So you feel like something is off. You know, internally, there's a shift that needs to be made that you even want to make. You know that this version that you're currently in your life, you want things to be different. Excuse me. But you're also not moving. You're also not really doing much about it. And that's a problem, girl. Like, that's a problem. And it's not that you don't require different or you don't require more. You just don't want to put in the effort that it requires, or you might not know how, or you might not know the best next step. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to share, how many do I have here? 3 observations that I've been having. I'm going to use that word because that's what my dad told me. I did a video. See, that's why I have to have my notes because I'm going off on a tangent. But I did a video, some videos back around knowing who you are outside of your job title, because I feel like so many women have their identities like wrapped up in their job. And I've done work years ago to release that spirit off of me. But in that, like, I always like in my DNA, who I am, not just what I do, is I'm a creative. And I was saying in the video how my dad recently like helped me like uncover to that. Even since I was a child to this day, I've been very observant. So he was like, you're also an observer. So I thought that was interesting because how he framed it, I totally agree. So here are my observations. So the first thing that I have observed is what I'm coining like the easy button mindset. Like I feel like even with women who are used to getting things done, who are used to doing, who are used to performing, who are used to executing, building, leading, you want the easy button. You want the easy button to this new life. You want a step-by-step manual. You want a guarantee. You want things to feel crystal clear before taking that step. But that don't exist. And the reason, again, I can talk so clearly from this space is because I used to feel the same way. Like you, especially, I feel like high achievers, you just want everything to be like mapped out perfectly and provided the ultimate guarantee before you move or take a step. But that's not real life. That plan doesn't exist. Now, of course, you can learn from people. You can, take strategies or frameworks or ideas or steps from possibility models, from coaches, from mentors, from your favorite podcaster, whoever that might be. Of course, you can learn from people, but only you can build the life that you desire. And that part requires effort. It does. it's it's not going to be easy. And when I use the word easy, I'm meaning easy equals no effort. And building the life that you desire, stepping into a life that you desire, having vision for the life that you desire, it requires effort. Now, it doesn't have to be hard, like it doesn't have to be like you're constantly pushing through or striving or hustling, all of that, because I don't believe in hard work. But it does require effort, and it requires effort that only you can do because this is your life. So that's number one. I feel like the easy button mindset is running amok. The next thing that I am observing and is totally natural is the fear. The fear of everything. The fear of what's going to happen if it doesn't work? What if this isn't the right decision? What if this? What if that? When this? When that? Excuse me. And fear is running rampant just in the world that we're living in. We're in 2026. No matter where you are in the world, something is going on. It's a lot going on in the world, and people have a lot of fear about a lot of different things. But when it comes to your life and your work, you have to focus on the things that you can control. And again, I get it because I was there. I totally get it. In 1 year, in 2022, in 1 year, I left my 6-figure corporate job. I left a long term relationship, and I bought a place on my own. Those 3 life-changing events, not only scary if you did one of them, but I did 3 of them all in 1 year. I talk about this in more detail in the video where I talk about the 3 things, I think it's something like the 3 things I did to show audacity or something along audacity. So you can check out that video in detail, but I did all that in 1 year and I was scared. I was scared to do all of those things, but I also knew that staying in my corporate 9 to 5, staying in a relationship that no longer benefited either of us, and buying a place on my own was what I had to do. It was, if I stayed in any of those situations, the outcome would have been even scarier. So while things are scary sometimes, they will be scary sometimes, I also had to, I'm a Christian, so I believe in God, and I just had to come to a realization and just look back over my life and just remember that every step I made, not saying that things weren't hard or difficult or didn't require effort, but every step I made, even when I fell down or I failed, God was always there to catch me. He was always there. Every step I made, every decision I made, again, even if there was a lesson that I had to learn in it, He was always there with me. So, and it does take some level of shift, sometimes a mindset shift. Sometimes it can take, big life events or whatever that may be. But you have to find what works for you to be able to step out of that overwhelming fear that keeps you just behind bars and trapped from moving forward to the life you desire. And then think to yourself, is staying here, staying stuck here, is that even scarier? And things aren't necessarily going to be perfect. Things aren't necessarily might be the most comfortable, but stepping out in faith, listen, faith is going to win over fear every single time. And I don't mean like that bubble gum, rainbows and butterflies type of faith where you're just, oh, help me, God, or I'm going to read a scripture. But I mean that hardcore faith where God, you're asking God, order my steps, allow my spirit to be sensitive enough to feel the way that you're moving me and you're directing me, and continuously focus on Him every single. Listen, faith will wipe out that fear every single time. So that's the second observation that I'm seeing. Is just like so much fear is keeping women like you and others from truly moving into the life that you desire and making that shift for what you know that you want for yourself. I could go into more things, but the last thing I'm going to mention in what I've been observing is the sole focus on doing versus being. I always say we are human beings, not human doings. And I think that's the part that many of us avoid the most. Again, especially if you're someone who's just used to getting things done. Maybe some of your worth, your value, your identity is rooted in what you do or heavily tied to what you do. The doing becomes the normal. The being is nowhere to be found because you're always thinking about, what do I need to do next? What can I do next? Filling all of your time with tasks and projects and things, and avoiding the stillness or avoiding just having that alone time to really get clear. We're avoiding those things. But what I have realized for myself is that for me, I've experienced over and over again, clarity doesn't always come from the doing. Yes, you have to take aligned action. So don't get what I'm saying mistaken here. Oh, you're just supposed to sit there and do nothing. No, because I feel like it comes from being still long enough to hear God's voice and still long enough for God's voice to come through you to bring what you desire and His will forward. And I think that's why a lot of women are so busy too, because we don't want to sit with ourselves. We don't want to sit in that quiet. So the busyness, keeps us distracted, keeps us moving, keeps us in motion. When stillness comes, for me, the clarity comes. And then when you get the clarity, that's when you can take aligned actions, because you can choose to pause before the thing breaks. That's always the best way. Most times people have to break before they pause. Again, I'm speaking from experience. But when you can practice being and allow doing to just have a seat for a moment, that's when that clarity can come. And then the doing can take you toward what your desires are. Because if you sit long enough to get clear, then you can move with intention and alignment. And some of that fear would have been moved to the side. Some of that easy button mindset could have been moved to the side. There's a lot that can come, a lot of benefit that comes from just being still, just having some time to yourself. and just thinking, sitting, being, and not just thinking about the next thing that you have to do. If this resonates with you, hit that like button and let me know. Also, let me know down in the comments. But these are three of the top things that I'm observing just as I move throughout life and have conversations with women, showing up here on YouTube for 100 days in a row, having conversations like these, women sharing their experiences in my comments. I'm observing these things over and over again. It's like I'm doing a real-time case study on this. So if you're in a place where you feel like you don't want the life you're living right now, but you're not moving towards another one, you just have to really ask yourself, do I actually want different? Do you actually want different? Or do you just want relief from who you are today? Because those are two very different things, but only you can answer that for yourself. And your life will change the moment you decide which one it is. When you decide for your life which one it is. If any of this resonated with you, as always, give this video a like. Let me know down in the comments. And I'm Erica Prevail. I share daily conversations helping ambitious women rework their relationship with ambition, capacity, rest, and creativity. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.